Hello, fellow empaths. I am back to talk to you about boundaries. Setting, learning, exploring boundaries. Because if you're an empath, let me check this out with you. I'll ask it in a question. It is very likely that people will treat you with a certain sort of disrespect. And not on purpose, not necessarily, not out of malice. But empaths are a place where people think that they can just come and be themselves with you. Yes? Is that true for you as an empath? Do you find that people just feel like they can just unload on you? They can just make you their free therapist anytime, anywhere. Take up your time without really even asking, do you have time to listen to me? Or even acknowledging that they actually have an agenda when they call you or approach you. Because why? Because empaths have a certain amount of compassion. They're empathic. Now, what a lot of us have done, and I mean, I've been through every stage of figuring out how to thrive in this world as an empath. And I can tell you at one point in my life, I just said, you know what, I don't want people just to come up and start unloading on me. My mom did it the whole time I was growing up. I was her therapist. And I've taken communication skills. I am a communication skills teacher. And that makes me even more likely for people to come up to me and start, or just call me randomly and start, thinking that I'm going to listen to them and extend some compassion and understanding to them, which is great. I mean, that's wonderful. It's an awesome skill set to have. It's a great way to be in the world. And there needs to be boundaries. There needs to be boundaries. So at one point I just said, I'm done. I just went into kind of a hiding place. I was like, if I have to hide just so people aren't always trying to pull on my energy, then, or take my attention, which is energy in and of itself, then I guess I'll just kind of, become more of a private person. And I've tried everything. Where I am with it right now and what I have to offer right now is to really encourage other empaths to look at, to feel into, to experientially stay present so that when people say things to you that are left field with a certain level of disrespect, and when I say disrespect, I mean just dumping on people is disrespectful in my opinion. It's been disrespectful to me for years and years. I didn't know that that was disrespectful because I was raised to be my mom's therapist. And I figured out how to compensate for feeling like I didn't fit in or like I wasn't enough. And that is, I've got a good role in society. I'm the compassionate one. I'm the healer. I'm the one who people can count on to be there and be present. So I had to take some responsibility also for that. I perpetuated what was going on in my life, but then I was ready. I was ready to start bringing more balance into my life. And of course, the only way I know how to do this, especially as an empath, is to stay present in your body. And that is why I am teaching and love teaching people around in regards to embodiment, and not embodiment from a mental and intellectual understanding of what embodiment is, but as an actual practice. And embodiment is an empath's magic, really. It's just that empaths have to be encouraged and understand that it is definitely a must for an empath to be able to bring your attention down in your body and stay embodied so that you can read energy, especially when it's coming at you. And because you're going to feel it anyway, and you may run away like I did for a few years, just run away from humanity, limit contact. You can do that. That's something you can do. And that's one tool, actually, because empaths need to know it is time for me to sort of check out for a little while, but then bring yourself back. I checked out for years, just protecting my energy. And so, but if you stay in your body, or know how to return yourself to a position of embodiment ongoingly, especially because we live in a world that doesn't validate empaths and validate that we're energy. And so it's a very mental, patriarchal type of society that we live in. So it's like, it's something that you've got to be able to catch and bring yourself back, catch and bring yourself back. I left the body. I'm up in my head. I'm intellectualizing. I'm analyzing. And there's where I get in trouble. So I'm going to bring my attention back down into my body and get myself balanced, body, mind, and soul, and feel into energy. Be open to how energy comes in and how I interpret that energy through being embodied. Because when disrespect comes, what I have found now is that I can really trust that that is what it is, because I am no longer able to not speak up, because that is ultimately what makes empaths go away, is that we absorb stuff and then we get overwhelmed with it and then we go away, and who knows when we're going to come back. So like, really, this exercise that I want to do with you is one that I highly recommend for when you're learning how to set boundaries. And I could talk more about boundaries. And I will talk more about boundaries and more about examples of disrespect. And not always do you need to speak up and interrupt people's disrespect. But if you don't stay in your body and read energy as an empath, you won't know when it's happening, and you won't know which way you want to go with it. You won't be able to drop down and feel into the energy of disrespect and go, okay, how do I want to handle this? What would be the best way to handle this? Did this person do this out of malice? I find that most of the time, no, it's not. It's just that not all people are empaths, and so they're not really extremely connected to the abruptness of energy that comes from them to other people, especially an empath, someone that they feel that they can count on to be there for their angst or help them through their angst or whatever. And so in this case, what I'd really like to do is I'd like to give this particular session the main topic of this particular example or lesson in catching disrespect is truly when people do think that they can just say things to you that, they didn't really give you any opportunity to say whether or not you were available or whether or not you want to participate. Like, no, call me and pay me. You need some coaching? I would love to coach you. Or I'm not a coach. Let me send you to a coach, because this is above my pay grade. Or just making yourself unavailable in a way that suits you, but is also still from the kindness of your heart. But strength. One of the facilitators that I've been working with lately, she gave me an analogy. I guess I would call it an analogy of a rose, and how roses are beautiful flowers. Like, they're known to be like the most gorgeous flowers on the planet. And yet they do have thorns. And so if you want to admire a rose and you want to feel the nurturing that a rose is, and you want to touch a rose even, you still have to respect it. Why? Because it does have thorns. It does have thorns. Roses have some serious thorns, in fact. And so she gave me this analogy to help me with my boundaries with people in my life who don't mean to say ridiculous things to me or disrespect me at all, but they really don't have enough awareness. So here we go. Let's get in our bodies. And with all of what I've said, bring that down into your body if it resonates with you, great. If you find yourself having problems with boundaries or feeling like, wait a minute, what did that person just say to me? And why would they say such a thing to me? Or why do they always, call me up and start unloading on me? And, any of that, if that resonates with you, here we go. Let's do this. Okay, so where does our attention live most of the time? Our attention lives most of the time up in our head, thinking. Neuron firing, neural patterns, neurons, pew, 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 pew. Thought forms. This is where our attention usually is on the repetitive thoughts, okay? Right? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get interested in our bodies to move our attention down into our bodies. And one of the other courses that I've taken over the years, we used to call it taking a vacation from the head. Take a vacation from the mind. So we're going to be taking a vacation right now by bringing your attention into your body, and you do that by getting interested. Interest drives attention. When you go to a really good movie, where's your attention? It's in the movie, right? Why did it go in the movie? Because you were interested in the movie. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to get interested and drive our attention away from where it usually lives, down into our body, where we can be energetically tuned in, and we can trust our read on things, not from up here, but from down in here. And we can create solutions and ways to deal with things that happen that feel experientially like disrespect. So notice your toes, get interested in your toes, wiggle your toes around a little bit. Take in a nice deep breath also. Bring the breath all the way down to your toes. That may sound ridiculous, but just do it. And then exhale when you're ready. And then shake your feet a little bit. Shake them out a little. Notice the arches in your feet. Then bring your attention to your ankles. Notice your ankles. And stomp your feet a little bit. Feel the bottom of your feet on the ground. And then bring your attention to your shin bones. Notice you have shin bones. See if you can actually palpate your shin bones with your attention. Then bring your attention to your knees. And while you're at your knees, notice the angle they're bent in. And then bring your attention to the top of your legs, your quadricep muscles. Notice the skin. Notice the sensations on the skin. It might be air. It might be fabric. Put your hands on your top of your legs. Just kind of rub your legs. Really get in your body. Notice you have a body. Now bring your attention to your root chakra. You should be sitting on it if you're sitting. If you're laying down, you know what I'm talking about then. You would be sitting on it. Get me? So now do some Kegels. You have 2 muscles down there that will Kegel if you're a woman. If you're a man, you have 1 muscle that Kegels down there. But wake up your root chakra. Take in another nice deep breath down into your root chakra. And when you are ready, exhale it gently all the way from the root chakra. And then bring your attention to your lower abdomen and the sway in your lower back, your sacral chakra. And just notice that curve in your lower back. Notice the feel of gravity that's actually holding you and grounding you to this planet right now. And in particular, in the root chakra and sacral chakra area, like grounding your beautiful self to this planet. Gravity holding you here to the planet. Feel that actual pull, that hold. See if you can notice it. If not this time, maybe next time you'll notice it as you increase your awareness in your body. Now bring your attention up to your solar plex chakra. So notice you have a rib cage. And notice that your rib cage, when you breathe in, expands. And when you exhale, it contracts. So breathe in, expanding the rib cage, and exhale, contracting the rib cage. In the solar plex area, I want you to notice how your personal power can be found right here in this area, among others. But for right now, I really want you to get very related to this area of your body, this chakra, where your core is, where your personal power, anytime that you feel someone is disrespecting you, anytime you can come right here to this core area of your body and just sit there with your attention right there while you go through the initial stages of disrespect, which feel like the air being let out of your solar plex chakra. Like if you had a sail right here, your personal power chakra is what I consider it. Then the disrespect energetically feels like a sucker punch many times. And it's like, whoof, the air out of your sail. So now breathe again into your solar plex chakra, expand. And any past things that people have said to you that you thought, oh my God, and you maybe weren't able to figure out exactly how to handle it. A lot of times as empaths, what happens is we get caught off guard. We sure do. We walk around with this energetic thing going on with us, with a lot of empathy and a lot of sort of just a different way of being in the world than most human beings, where we don't thrive on competition. We don't thrive on some of the things that normal human beings thrive on. They do exactly the opposite when it comes to us. And so a lot of times it's really learning to trust. And how do you trust when something's coming at you and you're thinking, wow, that doesn't work for me as an empath. But it happens all the time to me as an empath, because in the world, I deal with this. Like I had a situation happen just like a week ago where a woman who I know and I ran into referred to another woman that we know as a weirdo. And she did not mean it in a beautiful way. Like, to me, being called a weirdo is actually kind of beautiful. No, it was mean. It was mean. And it was a woman who I've known for years, who's definitely not an empath. But the woman that she was calling a weirdo is definitely an empath, like for sure, a very creative person who's very open-hearted and feels and is kind. And so when this one other woman that I ran into referred to this woman as a weirdo, I felt it. I felt the cruelty of it. You know, I was shocked by it, and she probably could see it in my face. I said, weirdo? I didn't let it slide, but also it caught me off guard. So I didn't know exactly how to handle it right at that time. And I left with it on me, like energetically, that it was like, ick was on me. I was like, ew, ick, gross. gross. I feel this on me. And I had to, take time to sort of let it come off me. And one of the ways that I let it come off me, because this person who's definitely not an empath, who's really actually more like a bitch, is what I think most people would call her. Maybe not people who like her, but if people observe her behavior, it's I don't know, it's kind of bitchy. Which is fine. That's fine too. I mean, I have an inner bitch, so I'm not trying to be mean to her, but just as a primary way of being, I hope I'm not a bitch. But I know how to be a bitch when I need to be a bitch. But just that whole experience was very bitchy. And it caught me off guard. And so what I did, because I am embodied, was I felt into it. And pretty quickly, I realized what it was. Now, will anyone ever be able to prove this to me or prove it, period? Who cares? I don't care. It's my truth. My truth is that energy and the way that that was said was jealousy. Yeah, jealousy. So those times in your life when you have been hit with some sort of thing from a person who's not empathic and doesn't live the way that an empath lives, doesn't experience life the way empaths do. Instead, they feel just fine with just going out in the world and saying things that are hurtful and energetically really, let that go right now. Let it release, loose, let go. Like as if to leave your pores, out of all your pores in your body, energetically, just release all of the times that you have had people come up to you and say things that you could say were inappropriate or disrespectful, whether they were disrespectful to you or disrespectful to another person. In that case, I feel that it was disrespectful to both myself and the woman that she was calling a weirdo, with a very judgmental tone. And just allow it to release. Just exhale it out. Even if you don't know what it is and what's going on with other people, you can't be carrying around all the harshness of the world, okay? And the harshness of people who aren't empaths and live and operate in the world in a very different way than empaths do. I thought it was very interesting. Well, I'm not going to go into that story. Maybe I'll come back and tell that story. But for right now, what I'd like to do is I'd like to wrap up this video. And I'd like to just have you come back next week for another embodiment exercise, and wish you much luck. And if you have anything to share in the comments about what it's like for you and what you've found, and what are some of your favorite tips for dealing with boundaries, and how do you stay present in your body when things that are harsh start coming at you. And if you'd like to share a story or something, I would love to hear. And if you have any questions or there's anything you would like for a tip from me, or what do I think about it, I would love to get your question too. And I might even do a whole video around it. So meanwhile, if you liked and enjoyed this video, please like the like button, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed so that you can get the ones that I'm doing on a weekly basis. I am a little bit sick still, so my throat is starting to go out on me. I've missed last week's video because I was very sick, but I'm back and really excited to share some more with you, and would love to hear your comments. And so until next time, my dear darling, wonderful empaths out there, just remember that there's no way out if you're an empath. The only thing to do is to own it and to embrace it, and to get great skill sets and tools for navigating this world and this lifetime as an empath, so that you're actually taking your empath as magic and a powerful, powerful tool in the world, in your relationships, in your job, and for you. And so have fun this weekend. I know here in Houston, it is beautiful spring weather. I hope wherever you are that you're going to have some wonderful, beautiful spring weather. And for now, bye-bye.